All right, we're getting better at those transitions, everyone. Welcome to CRPN Central, the podcast dedicated to clinical research, how we can explore for our communities and improve health and access of clinical research to our communities so that we can get something done. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, be a part of this voice, and let's bring on our guest. This is a very special day. So, coming on to the stage is Mr. Lee Eifler and Che Gray. I would love to have you do a really quick introduction. Let's start with Lee.
Um, I'm Lee Eifler, owner of Medical Advancement Centers of Arizona. We go by Makoa Health. I own some other clinics, but that's our main focus right now. We focus on everything from COPD to metabolic studies, specifically in underserved communities, targeting diversity that's so much needed in clinical trials.
Absolutely. And this is a perfect time to talk about that, Lee. Diversity is huge in clinical research. Che Gray, I hope I pronounced your name right. Out of respect, I want to make sure that's okay. Would you be willing to introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, hi, my name is Che Gray is my last name. Member of the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community located centrally in Arizona, Phoenix area. Um, I just got I just got on with Lee here for Makoa Health as a tribal liaison, trying to bring together relationships for Makoa Health and the tribal, not just my tribe, but the tribes surrounding us in the area and locally throughout the Southwest.
Wow. And so, Che, this is perfect. I'm so glad that we're talking about this right now. For all of you, those who know, now is November 1st, and this will probably be released maybe next Monday. We want to make sure as many people see it as possible. But November is National Native American Heritage Awareness Month. And so this is a perfect time. So just to confirm, Makoa Health, a private site, a specialized site in the Arizona area, has just brought on a tribal liaison so that we can make sure that we can get clinical research access to our Native American communities. Is that a kind of like a summary?
That that's correct.
That's correct. Oh, I've got to ask. So, Lee, how did you and Che get to know each other? How did you meet?
Well, I was we were with our kids and we were actually bowling. Actually at a bowling alley at another reservation up north. I was just in the area and there was a bowling alley there just by coincidence. And then we were both there with our children. So we had started talking and, I kind of told him what I did. And then he told me about himself and he seemed to take an interest. And I said, I could really, I came from Mount Pleasant, Michigan, where there was a large reservation there. And I had a lot of friends, and I knew kind of the way into the community is really by getting involved with it. Actually, all of my clinics that are research clinics are in underserved communities because we believe in my philosophy from the beginning has kind of been you got to meet the patients where they're at. So
Mm-hmm.
when Che expressed interest in what we were doing on the research side, it was a great opportunity to bring somebody on as a tribal liaison to help us go to where the community is. Native Americans are largely underrepresented in clinical trials. So having somebody who's willing to put in the work and bring those opportunities to the reservations is really key. He was a really straightforward, interested guy that spoke well. So I was excited to bring him on board.
Wow, and Che, this is truly inspirational, and my heart just sings right now. So I have to ask. So you're bowling, and you meet this guy, and you strike up a conversation. He's like, I do this thing called clinical research. So as someone in a tribe, and as someone who was talking to Lee, how, like, what connection or what interest did you have in clinical research to continue this discussion?
Well, a lot of his clinical research that he was talking about was about diabetes and obesity and stuff along those lines. And my family, a lot of my family, even my father and most of my aunts and everybody, they struggle from diabetes, and they've always had a lot of them have a hard time with their obesity and keeping control of their weight. And so that's kind of what kind of struck interest in when talking with Lee. is I was thinking about different ways that my father, he's gone passed away now, but thinking of different ways that probably could have helped him control his diabetes and can help my family members that are still currently alive and with the that have diabetes, that they maybe that I could help them out by getting involved with clinical trials and showing them that there's options out there, despite the fact of what our local clinics have to offer and stuff like that. You know, I mean, the local clinics on the reservation are pretty much government ran, so it's government funded and stuff like that. So if we're able to bring in these other medications at no cost, I feel like that could help out my community. And from my understanding, growing up as a child, I haven't looked into the research, but growing up as a child, the Pima tribe, what we call ourselves Otham, but everybody knows as the Pima tribe, has the number one rate for diabetes amongst Americans.
Oh my
So
gosh.
and so that was the case growing up. I'm not too sure where it stands now, but that's something that we're always told, and they would always bring in healthy studies, like different groups into the elementary schools and stuff growing up, because I went to school on the reservation my whole life. They would always like have different things where teach us how to cook healthy and stuff like that. But I feel like this is another step closer to trying to help the community and just give them that jump start on like people who can't control their weight themselves or have like problems with their health that prevents them from being able to lose the weight and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
getting their diabetes under control. And so personally, when I was talking to Lee, it kind of sparked a personal interest with me personally, because it's something I could look at and hopefully help my family members along the way.
Yeah. And so as a high population of diabetes in the country, and obviously you have clinics, you have hospitals, and you use therapeutics, you use drugs at those hospitals, right?
Correct.
Likely like the metformins and the insulins and all the things that are approved.
Yeah.
But to your knowledge, does your tribe have any access until now with MACOA? Have they had an opportunity to participate in clinical research trials to develop the drugs that you've been using?
From my understanding, I don't believe so. All the studies and stuff has mainly been about like eating healthy and stuff like that, but I
Hmm.
don't think there hasn't really been anything as far as clinical trials. And so I'm hoping that we could bridge that gap and try to get that going for my
That's
community.
great. That's great. So
There's,
Lee, tell me, I wonder, so you're working with Che. Che is going to be a tribal liaison. I want to go into that in just a minute. We'll talk about the process of what you think and how you think you're going to do it. But what does Makoa have right now that you can talk about that could help Che and the reservation?
so we've got a couple initiatives going on. First, I want to go back to what he said. You know, there's research opportunities all over Phoenix, but kind of our philosophy and why we have success in bringing diversity to trials is because patients, you have to meet them where they are. People aren't going to travel all the way across town to an environment they're not comfortable with. So if you can develop systems that integrate into their community, the success rate for getting participants in research grows exponentially. It's especially when it's a marginalized community, such as a reservation or underserved populations. There's so much more research hesitant. So you really have to take that extra step to meet them where they're at. That's kind of the initiatives that we're working on right now. Che has some family on the tribal council that they have an interest. You know, anything that brings a healthier lifestyle or healthier options to the reservation, I think is largely promoted. But we're also working with Che's got some contacts that we're working with to set up free fibro scans to check liver function inside a community center, and then we're trying to work with one of the medical clinics on site to offer these trials to uh, basically tribal members that have metabolic disorders, you know, such as diabetes or chronic kidney disease or MASH. But by offering at least the screenings at their location, they get a chance to, you know, it's just the participation rate goes up largely. It also makes them feel comfortable because we're getting involved with their community. I was actually just talking to Che earlier. One of the things we did in my old hometown of Mount Pleasant is I had a lot of friends that lived on the reservation, and powwows were a really big event. They're fun to go to. They're family friendly. And there's a Che was telling me there's a powwow on the reservation this weekend. I think I'm going to bring my kids out there to hang out with him, and just getting involved in the community and talking to them. That's a good opportunity to meet people where they're at, especially in social functions such as a powwow. You really not only have a good time, but you can build that trust that's needed within the community to do some good.
And I was wondering, so Jay, we were talking about powwows, and I know you had some ideas. So, what are your ideas about how powwows might be able to help to promote improved health or even uh, participation in clinical research or health initiatives for your community?
Well, first and foremost, they offer vendor booths there at powwows. You get anything from food vendors, you get military recruiters, you get people selling jewelry and stuff. And I've seen some health booths set up before, but I never seen anything about clinical trials set up. But there's all kinds of booths set up. So maybe in the future we can get a booth set up, and even probably, I mean, maybe get two booths set up and use one as a to do offer the free liver scans and stuff like that, and then use the other booth just to help promote Macoa Health and try to get people to come on and let them know what we're trying to do, and let them know. Yeah, I know a lot of people, they hear clinical research, they're real skeptic about it, but let them know that Macoa Health is here for the best interest, and it's nothing that's gonna deprive them of their health. It's going to actually try to help them improve their health and try to be what's best for them in the long run. And so I feel like just being able to get that boot space, and not just the boot space, but being there. I mean, the pretty much the powwow revolves around the circle. You got the drums on the outside and the dancers in the middle, and then all the booths are usually around the circle. So just going out and promoting, probably handing out flyers to people, and a lot of people like free swag, so maybe we can hand out free swag to them and stuff like that along those lines. And so when they go home, they can see a little ball or something that says Macoa Health, and it just triggered their mind and try to get them to open up to the fact that clinical research can be very positive for our community.
Something that always happens when we do these events, especially when we're reaching into a new community, it always starts off slow, but it kind of snowballs. It really grows because the word of mouth, when people actually, once they've got involved and participated in a clinical trial with one of my organizations or Macoa Health, the word of mouth spreads so quick because it's the best healthcare they've never had to pay for. Um, Regardless of what the trial's for, they're so impressed with the care that they get and the way they're treated. Uh, as a subject, they're ecstatic to participate again. And once we've kind of made that initial break into the community, it just becomes part of the healthcare function in that community because people grow to
I
know
love
us and
that.
they grow to trust us.
I
We've
love
really
that.
had success in other areas as well, but I'm sure we're going to have the same success here, especially with a member of the community like Che really speaking on our behalf and speaking towards our integrity and our altruism. We just want to see a benefit for the reservation and for the tribe.
So I wondered, Jay, from the tribal liaison position that you're doing with Macoa Health, and we talked about powwows. What are your initiatives to build a trust with the tribe and to show the tribe that Macoa is here to help them, to serve them?
Just pretty much, and give them my wholehearted, honest opinion. I got for my own community, I'm pretty got a pretty good repertoire. I coach a lot of sports and stuff throughout my community and stuff along those lines, and I'm always hands on. I got a lot of, like Lee mentioned earlier, I got some family members that are in the tribal council, and that just I just want to let them know about the positivities about Macoa Health, and I mean, word is bond, and I'm not going to steer my people the wrong way, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people in my community and some of the surrounding communities know that. And so I'm hoping that I could use my voice that I've built throughout my community already to try to promote this, and not only promote this, but try to get my voice bigger throughout all of Indian country as well. I mean, I would like to represent not just only Makoa Health, but represent my community as a whole when traveling to these different reservations and stuff, and just be a overall good representative for the native community out here. And as far as it goes for clinical trials.
I love that. I love that. For all of those of you who know me, I am a huge advocate for fighting what we call the research deserts, all those pockets of people who really need help. They need help with research. And so then I want to try to fight to make sure that anyone who is qualified for research who can help from it can have access to it. And whenever you talk about this, Lee and Che, it just brings out my passion. I absolutely love it. So I think we're going to make this a really quick, short burst conversation. I really appreciate this. I am so proud of Lee and Che and what they're doing at Makoa Health and on the reservations. And importantly, I really do support this. So if you are in this area, if you know Makoa, if you're in the Arizona area, I highly recommend looking up Makoa and try to find Che, and let's figure out what's going on. So we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to give each of you the microphone. And I'm going to say, what would you like to tell your community about clinical research on the reservations with Makoa Health and with Che? What would you like to tell them? Let's start with Lee.
I just want to, I just feel blessed that I was able to meet somebody like Che that, would help me with an initiative to bring this benefit to the tribe and to all the Native American communities around Arizona and the West. But it's fantastic. We're just going to do what we can do. We're really excited, and we hope we have some success here. We hope we have some success. I think we're going to have some fun doing it, and I think we're going to end up a strong benefit to the people. I think Che's going to agree with that, and that's ultimately our goal, is just to be a benefit to the communities.
All right, perfect. And Che?
And pretty much same thing Lee said. My goal is to not only bring this to my community, but the surrounding communities around me. As everybody knows, Arizona has the most Native American tribes and reservations out of the whole United States, and so I want to try to tackle it and try to get rid of the stigmatism behind clinical research. A lot of people think that clinical research you're going to grow rat's tail or something like that, and I want to let them know that it's for the best of our people, and it's what's going to help get over those borders and those bumps that a lot of people struggle with. You know what I mean? And like Lee said, I mean it's going to be free for the community, and so that's going to help them a lot. They're not going to have to go out of the way. We're going to bring it to them in the community, so they're not going to have to go away and travel. So it's just trying to build that relationship between my tribe and the other tribes around us, and hopefully it spreads and we can build a relationship with all the tribes throughout the Southwest, and maybe work our way east towards the Midwest and stuff along those lines too.
Absolutely. Well, Lee, Che, it's been an absolute honor to have you on the CRPN Central. I look forward to sharing this with the audience. And if you have any questions, if you want to reach out to Makoa, if you want to reach out to Che, I'm going to put the contact information in this video's show notes. And we'll make sure that anyone who wants to talk to you has the opportunity to talk to you. So thank you again, everyone.
Thank you for the time.
Yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, share your voice, everyone. Thank you. We'll see you next time.